The following is a paid advertisement of St. Anthony Hospital Orthopedics. References to any specific product, services, or entity does not constitute an endorsement or recommendation by St. Anthony Hospital, Carroll Broadcasting, or its advertisers. The views expressed by the host or guests are their own, and their appearance on the program does not imply an endorsement of them or any entity they represent. Welcome to the St. Anthony Hospital Orthopedic Show with Dr. Richard Godding. Dr. Godding specializes in joint preservation, reconstruction, and replacement surgery, and brings over 25 years of orthopedic excellence to St. Anthony Hospital and to the Carroll area. For more information about Dr. Godding, his practice, or St. Anthony Orthopedics, go to santanthonyhospital.org or make an appointment by calling 712-794-5536.
Good Sunday morning, Iowa. It's Dr. Rick Godding. Thank you for choosing to spend a little time here with me this morning. So I'm going to start with, I woke up this morning feeling really good and energetic and everything, and I wanted to make sure that I say this enough times. I was diagnosed with sleep apnea a little over a year ago, and so I've been using my CPAP machine, and I'm still using it even though I've lost a lot of weight. But it's just made such a dramatic difference in my health and my ability to just get through the day with lots of energy. So the public service announcement is this. If you're over 50 and you snore, especially if you're obese and carrying some extra weight, especially weight around the chin, go get a sleep study. Talk to your doctor about it, because it's a thing that, I knew about it. I knew about sleep apnea, of course. I didn't think I had it. I just thought, hey, I'm getting old here. I'm tired because I'm 50, I guess at the time, 52, and that explains it. And, just stress and all that stuff. And gosh, wish mornings could feel like they used to feel. And then, I got the CPAP and things got dramatically better. Then I changed, I started losing weight. I'm down 47 pounds now. Of course, that doesn't hurt at all. But those two things can go together. But just the sleep apnea is so dangerous. It can cause what's called pulmonary hypertension. So that's the blood pressure going into your lungs is significantly higher than it should be, and that can cause all kinds of trouble, and it can keep your blood pressure overall high. It's no good for your mental health. It's no good for how you feel during the day. So I would just say, if there's been one, obviously the weight loss is its own thing, but if there's been one thing that I've done in my life that changed how I feel physically the most, it's the getting the CPAP. And you know what? I always used to look at it and I'd be like, there's no way I could do that. Number one, I toss and turn all the time. Well, I don't toss and turn anymore. And of course, I got my shoulder fixed with a Regeniten patch a couple of years ago too. I guess that was almost 3 now. Yeah, I guess 3 years ago now. And, that made it where I can lay down on my side and not flip over. And so I go to bed in one position and wake up in the same position, which is something I haven't done, years and years and years. So I just think for your overall health and well-being, if you snore, if you're over 50, or if you're obese over 50 and you don't know if you snore, talk to your doctor about a sleep study. They can do a preliminary one and then see how that goes. And then if it has a lot of red flags, you just do the full one. But it's well worth your investment. So you got to take care of your health. And it's time for the farmers to start getting close. It's right around the corner is going to be the harvest. So what I would say to the farmers who have a little bit of a lull here is take care of your equipment. And so that means your body. And if you have a shoulder or a knee or something like that hurts, go get it checked out. And like I always say, you don't wait until the combine wheel is squeaking and squeaking and squeaking and you don't pay any attention to it and you're out in the field trying to do some work and it falls off. You don't do that with your equipment, and your body is your most important piece of equipment. And this goes for everybody, but farmers, in my experience, tend to be very stoic and not really want to, it only hurts a little bit and I'll get over it. And then you come in and a procedure that could have been a small procedure, especially in the shoulder. In the knee, once you need a knee replacement, you need a knee replacement. But in the shoulder, when that rotator cuff starts to go, you can do like I did with a Regeniten patch, which is putting the patch on the shoulder. I didn't do my own. Obviously, I had another surgeon do it. But they put the patch on there. 3 days later, I took the sling off. 10 days later, I was back in the operating room. Now, if you wait longer, then you can go from a partial thickness rotator cuff tear to a full thickness rotator cuff tear, and then you can't use the Regeniten patch, and you have to put an anchor in the bone and tie it down, tie the tendon back down to the bone. 6 weeks in a sling, 6 months before you can lift very heavy objects. So that's the next step along the line in severity of treatment for the same problem that has been waited on longer. The longer you wait, the bigger that problem gets. That's true with just so many things. And then, of course, then you have a bigger repair, and then you move on to the superior capsular reconstruction, which I've talked about, which is where the cuff is not repairable, and you have to use a graft of donor tissue to put in between where the cuff is supposed to go, and that works very well. And then if you get too far that you can't do that, then you have to do the reverse total shoulder replacement, where you put the ball where the socket is and the socket where the ball is. So all of these things are sequential, right? So the quicker you get in to see your doctor, the quicker a diagnosis is made, and the quicker you can either have surgery or not surgery, depending on whether you need it. But this surgery, especially in the shoulder, these surgeries get bigger and bigger and bigger as the problem gets bigger, and the time that you've waited gets longer. So, I think that preventive maintenance and taking good care of your body is always important. So let's talk about a little bit of that stuff here. Especially, again, I'm a little bit focused today because I've had some farmers this morning that were talking about making sure they get back, in super shape before the harvest. So if you're going to get into a machine and that machine's going to vibrate all day long and you're going to be using your arms and your legs, stretch before you get in. I don't know how it works as far as if you can stop and get out and stretch in the field. I don't know how that one works, but stretch after you get out. When you're sitting in, now this is important for everybody, whether you're sitting at a computer screen at work, whether you're sewing, whether you're an operating surgeon like me, we all tend to, if we're looking down at our work project, we all tend to round the top of your back and hunch over a little bit. And what I try to do multiple times, I'm doing it right now because I just found myself hunching as I was talking. Multiple times during each operation, I try to, if I feel myself hunching, I try to stop, roll my shoulders back. You can't put my hands out. You got to keep those right where they are, but just roll the shoulders back a little bit, roll the neck back, and then keep going. It takes 2 seconds. If you are in a chair and you're not operating on people, you can lift your arms up over your head and put them out to the side, and then just pulling your shoulder blades together. That really helps, and it makes such a difference. These small things that you can do to take good care of your body make such a difference. And, of course, in my opinion, it starts and ends with nutrition. I mean, I think that the fewer things that come out of a box or a bag that you can put in your body, the better. Now, like I have talked about before, the more you can eat food that has one ingredient, like apple or steak or carrot, I mean, I'm doing the carnivore diet. I only eat meat, but that's an elimination diet. I'm losing my weight. I'm getting where I need to be. I don't know what I'm going to do in the longer term, But I do know that things like pizza, which are absolutely delicious, should be really reserved for special occasions. And on the day-to-day, what you eat and drink is very important. And so if you're stopping by McDonald's for breakfast, or you're eating a bowl of cereal or things like that, cereal is one of those things that they try to act like it's good for you. But as hog farmers know, there are some grain and milk concoctions that are fed to pigs to fatten them up. So if that's fed to pigs to fatten them up, I don't know how we can say that that's a super healthy breakfast. I would say, again, if you're going to, for breakfast, a little bit of fresh fruit if you want some carbohydrates, bacon and eggs, that kind of stuff. Minimize the processed stuff as much as possible. And most of those cereals are really processed. And, especially when it comes to eating out, if you can do it, you can eat out. If you're going to eat out, if you have to get a hamburger, maybe get a salad with it. Don't get French fries. I just feel like what I'm realizing as I go into this lifestyle of radically changing the way I ate, I just look around and I'll go to a restaurant and I'll be like, wow, I can't believe I used to eat like that. And when you step back and you look at what's on your plate, you got to think, not just is it going to taste good, but what is this going to do for my body? This is the fuel you're putting in your body. You would not mix up a bunch of junk and pour it into the gas tank of your car. And that's what you're doing with that kind of stuff. And it does actually make a difference in things like rotator cuff tears and knee arthritis. So I've talked about before how your gut, the bacteria that are in your intestines and are signaling your body certain things. And they also can cause, if they're out of balance, they can cause your gut to leak a little bit. And what that means is some of the toxins in there that are supposed to go out don't go out, but instead go into the blood, and those can go into your joints and cause problems. Additionally, the fat cells in your fat, the more of them you have and the bigger they are, so the more fat you have on you, the more fat cells you have and the bigger they are, they become almost like glands where they secrete what we call inflammatory cytokines. And those can go into your knee and into your shoulder and cause inflammation at the site. So if you are eating a bad diet and you are overweight and you have some knee arthritis and you are taking an anti-inflammatory drug because of it, which has its own problems. When I say anti-inflammatory drug, I mean like Motrin, Naprosyn, those kind of things. In the longer term, those things can cause problems. So you're eating the wrong things, which are causing inflammatory molecules to go into your joints, which are causing your joints to break down, for which you're taking another medicine, which can cause other problems to fix. So it's easier just to fix the diet. I think that orthopedics is like anything else in American medicine. A lot of the issues are really relatable to diet and lifestyle, and people forget about that. Well, what do you mean my knee arthritis? That's just the cartilage is worn out. What's that got to do with what I eat? Well, I just told you. And then also movement. You want to move. If you are not exercising, walk around the block. And then walk around the block 3 nights a week. Just once around the block. And then make it 4 nights a week. And then make it 5 nights a week. And then walk 2 times around the block. And you'll see that you'll build up to the point where you're getting some exercise and your joints want to move. They're meant to move. So the more you sit and don't move them, the less healthy they are, all of the joints in your body. If you're in physical good enough condition, ride a bike. That's a real nice way to get good exercise without pounding on your joints too much. Like if you're jogging, it works for some people. I would say that the thinner you are, the more reasonable jogging is. The thinner and the younger you are, the more reasonable jogging is as far as your knees and your hips and ankles and feet go. But I think, especially in the summer, it's a good time to start setting the pace to get yourself active and healthy and getting outside and getting some of that sunlight. You don't have to, if you're out in the sun for 10 or 15 minutes, you're likely not going to burn. You're likely going to get some vitamin D that you need. And, so all of these things, I feel like orthopedics, like many areas of medicine, a lot of the tendency is to focus on, well, here's arthritis and here's what you can do. You can come in and we can give you an anti-inflammatory injection, and then we can give you, anti-inflammatory medicine. And then if that doesn't work, we can give you an injection. If that doesn't work, we can give you a different type of injection. And if that doesn't work, we can replace your knee. But the thing that can stop that process, at least slow it down, and maybe stop it. If you start early enough, if you're in your 50s and you start paying attention to your diet and your weight, and maybe you have a little bit of arthritis, who knows if you're ever going to need a knee replacement. And as much as I love doing knee replacements, I think it's a life-changing operation. My mom's had two. I do them every week. I love doing them, but I'd still love. The best thing is to not have to have one, right? That's the best knee replacement is one that you didn't need to get. And so I'm trying to give you a way of thinking about these issues with your health, with your bone and joint health, and understanding that these are things that diet and lifestyle can help. The other is osteoporosis. So osteoarthritis is the breakdown of the joint. Our osteoporosis is the bones getting weaker. Well, diet absolutely 100% contributes to that. If you have a gut that is out of proportion with respect to what bacteria are in it, then you can absorb less calcium from your diet, and that can weaken your bones. It can also cause inflammation, which can interfere with the metabolism of the bones and how the bones restructure themselves and because your bones are constantly restructuring themselves, just like your skin. People know that, your skin is not the same skin that it was on you a year ago because of the turnover of the cells, right? Bones do the same thing. And so the healthier that you can be, the less likely it is you're going to break a bone, because as you get older, when you fall, you tend to break bones worse, and you tend to have worse fractures. Fracture is just Latin for break. The fractures get worse, they get life-threatening. And I think that in this country, there's a lot of tendency for people to say, well, as the number in your age goes up, you just get old, and then you get frail, and then you die. And I think that to some extent, sure. But I think that writing it off to, well, there's nothing I can do, it's just a process, that's not the case. You have control. You can eat healthy. You can exercise, and I know it just sounds, yeah, you've heard that your whole life. And I know it's confusing what to eat healthy, and different things work for different people. Some people are vegans, and all they eat is plants. Some people are vegetarians. Some people only eat like a little bit of fish protein, and some people like me don't eat plants at all. So you got to figure out a way that works for you. But you do have control over your health to a great extent. Most of the health problems in America, including arthritis, including osteoporosis, including rotator cuff tears. Now, that doesn't say that those things won't occur in people who are healthy and have good diets and exercise, but they'll occur less frequently and less severely. And so I just wanted to, take this gorgeous summer day and encourage people to go have a healthy day. Go have a healthy day. Start there. Have a healthy day. Eat a solid, healthy breakfast. Go out and get a little exercise in the sun and move around today. And then see if you can do that tomorrow. Or maybe you do it a couple times this week and then build on it. Because all of the things that happen to you when you don't do that are all bad. And all the things that happen to you when you do that are good. And mental health as well. Get out there and enjoy that sun. It's really good for your mental health. It'll just make you feel better about the world. And here in Iowa, of course, we have a long, cold winter that can make us feel worse about the world. So you got to load up on it while it's here. So just that, a little overall health maintenance and how it relates to orthopedic conditions. And I hope everybody out there is having a brilliant, wonderful day, and you just have a blessed week, Iowa.
This has been the St. Anthony Hospital Orthopedic Show with Dr. Richard Goding. For more information about Dr. Goding, his practice, or St. Anthony Hospital Orthopedics, go to www.santanthonyhospital.org or make an appointment by calling 712-794-5536.